If you're all familiar with the sci-fi Korean movie All of Us Are Dead, where a science teacher was able to create a zombie virus that wreaked havoc on everyone in the country, turning them into monstrous zombies, I bet you'll also be interested in our main topic for today. Since then, I've been really into sci-fi and serial killer movies, and upon hearing about this killer algae in our class, it tickled the fabric of my soul, pushing me to research more and talk about it in today's video. Good day, sweet maniacs. I'm dearly Colbongan, and join me as we uncover more of the hidden truths about this so-called killer algae, or what we call lukay-lukay in the Philippines. Who would have thought that a human-made directed selective breeding or genetic modification of a tiny amount of seaweed would be able to have the potential to disrupt the entire coastal ecosystem? Well, this is the story of our main algae for today. I introduce to you the Caulerpa Taxifolia, aka the killer algae from phylum Chlorophyta under the family in genus Caulerpaceae and Caulerpa respectively. This figure shows the phylogenetic analysis of Caulerpa species. High bootstrap values support monophyly of Caulerpa Taxifolia, Mexicana, Sertula rhodes, Webiana, and Prolifera, whereas most other Caulerpa species show para or polyphyly. Caulerpa taxifolia is originally a naturally occurring seaweed native to tropical waters of the Indian, Pacific, and Atlantic Oceans, wherein in the 1980s, specifically bred cold-resistant clone was seen to thrive in the colder environments of the Wilhelma Zoo in Stuttgart, Germany. Caulerpa taxifolia is a siphonalian alga, a green macroalga with a siphonous or sinusitic morphology. That is, algal thalli have no cell walls but are composed of a single or few large multinucleated cells. The thallus consists of a creeping stolon that is often above the sediment, which can grow to 10 feet or 3 meters long and attached to underwater substrates including rocks, sand, mud, and seagrass beds from depths ranging from less than 1 meter to about 12 meter via colorless root-like rhizoids. Extending upward from these horizontal stolons are the photosynthetic upright parts of the thallus called fronds, which are fern-like pinnate and can grow from 2 to 26 inches or 5 to 65 centimeters long. This trait, combined with its beautiful bright green color and ability to grow quickly without maintenance, made it compatible for indoor aquariums, which it helped keep clean by consuming nutrients and chemicals in the water. Further selective breeding made it even more ideal, paving its way to be used in aquariums around the world. In 1984, a sample of this aquarium-developed superalgae has been released in the Mediterranean Sea by the famous Oceanographic Museum of Monaco. The marine biologists who found it believe that the museum accidentally released it into the ocean, along with aquarium waters, while museum directors claim that it had been carried into the area by ocean currents. In 2000, populations of the invasive Mediterranean aquarium strain were then discovered in New South Wales, Australia, and Agua Hedionda Lagoon in Carlsbad, California, and are found to threaten native kelp and eelgrass meadows. The prohibited invasive clone was designated in 1999 as a prohibited species under the Federal Noxious Weed Act. When first detected, the populations of Caulerpa in Southern California were small enough for eradication to be feasible. To eradicate underwater populations of Caulerpa, patches were covered with tarpaulins and chlorine was poured. Although this method killed all other marine life trapped under the tarps, it succeeded in eradicating the algae and native eelgrass was able to emerge in its place. By responding quickly, authorities were able to prevent Caulerpa taxifolia from propagating. But another occurrence of the strain in the coastal wetlands of Southeast Australia was left unchecked and allowed to spread. Regardless of how it ended up there, the non-native Caulerpa multiplied rapidly, having no natural predators due to the toxic effects of caulerpinine compounds that are contained in its foliage. Native fish which are able to eat Caulerpa, such as Mediterranean bream, accumulate caulerpinine toxins in their flesh, which makes these fish unsuitable for human consumption. Through water currents, the unintentional movement of plant material on boats, anchors, or fishing gear, or via ballast water discharge and illegal dumping of aquaria plants, it fragmented and colonized thousands of hectares of sea bottom throughout Mediterranean coastal cities, as well as Croatia, France, Italy, Monaco, Spain, Australia, the United States, and even the Philippines, covering coral reefs. The invasive strain of Caulerpa in the Mediterranean Sea will continue to smother other algal species, seagrasses, and Sicilian vertebrates invertebrate communities by either outcompeting species for food and light or due to the toxic effects of caulerpinine compounds that are contained in its foliage, with the biologists who first discovered its presence dubbing it killer algae. Infestations will continue to negatively and irreversibly affect tourism, commercial fishing, and recreational activities. Hence, with the proliferation of new technologies and multiple environmental hazards, it is more important than ever for scientists to monitor and evaluate the risks and dangers, and for the rest of us to remember that everything we do in our backyard can affect ecosystems half a world away. Well, that's a wrap. I hope you learned something today, and thank you so much for watching.